Chuck Norris, born Carlos Ray. Norris, on March 10, 1940, in Ryan, Oklahoma, began life far from the image of invincibility the world later embraced. His childhood unfolded in a small, struggling family where money was scarce and stability was even rarer. His mother, Wilma, worked tirelessly to keep the household going, while the family moved often in search of work and opportunity. For a shy boy like Chuck, constant relocation meant starting over again and again. He grew up feeling invisible in classrooms and uncertain about his place in the world. The quiet insecurity of those early years would stay with him long after fame arrived. Yet those experiences also planted the seeds of resilience. Life did not begin with applause or recognition for Chuck Norris. It began with uncertainty, modest circumstances, and a young boy trying to understand who he might become, searching for identity as a young man. By the time Chuck reached his late teens, he still felt unsure of his direction. School had not offered him confidence, and he often described himself as quiet and unsure around others. At 18, he made a decision that would change his life. He joined the United States Air Force. For Chuck, the military was more than a career choice. It was an opportunity to step into a larger world and find a sense of identity. In 1958, he was stationed at Osan Air Base in South Korea as a military policeman. The experience was challenging but eye-opening. Living far from home forced him to grow up quickly and face the question he had always carried inside. Who was he meant to be? The answer would begin to appear in an unexpected place, one that would reshape not only his life, but eventually his entire legacy. Discovering martial arts in Korea. While stationed in South Korea, Chuck Norris encountered martial arts for the first time. He walked past a small training hall and saw practitioners moving with remarkable discipline and control. The focus and balance of the art fascinated him. Curious and a little nervous, he stepped inside and began training in Tang Soo Do. At first, progress was slow, his movements were awkward, and the training was demanding. Yet something about the discipline resonated deeply with him. Martial arts offered structure, patience, and a path to improvement that depended on effort rather than natural talent. Chuck began practicing tirelessly, sometimes spending hours repeating the same movements until they felt natural. The experience gave him confidence he had never known before. For the first time in his life, he discovered a skill that connected mind and body, showing him that persistence could transform uncertainty into strength, returning home with a new purpose. When Chuck returned to the United States in 1962, he carried with him a new passion for martial arts. However, the path ahead was not easy. At the time, martial arts were not widely known in America, and building a career around them seemed unlikely. Chuck worked ordinary jobs while continuing his training in the evenings. Eventually, he decided to open his own karate school in Torrance, California. At first, the small studio had few students and little financial security. Many nights he wondered if he had made the wrong choice, but he stayed committed to teaching the discipline that had transformed him. Gradually, word spread about his dedication and skill. Students began to fill the dojo, and Chuck's reputation grew. The quiet young man who once doubted himself was slowly becoming a respected martial artist, dominating the competitive karate world. During the late 1960s and early 1970s, Chuck Norris became one of the most formidable competitors in karate tournaments. His disciplined style and precise technique earned him victories against some of the best fighters of the era. Over the years, he accumulated numerous championships and built an impressive record that established him as a leading figure in competitive martial arts. Yet, despite these accomplishments, Chuck still felt the need to prove himself beyond the tournament floor. Championships brought respect, but not necessarily long-term security or broader recognition. he began to consider other possibilities for sharing martial arts with a wider audience. It was around this time that a friendship with another martial artist would open an unexpected door, one that would lead him into the world of film and change the direction of his career. Becoming an action star in the 1980s, throughout the 1980s, Chuck Norris steadily established himself as a recognizable action star. Films such as The Octagon, Lone Wolf McQuade, and the Missing in Action series showcased his martial arts abilities while presenting him as a determined hero. He developed a style distinct from other action stars of the time, quiet, disciplined, and focused on justice rather than spectacle. Audiences connected with the authenticity he brought to his roles. Chuck was not just acting like a fighter. He truly was one. His background in martial arts gave credibility to every movement on screen. By the end of the decade, he had built a loyal fan base and a stable career in Hollywood. Yet his most recognizable role was still ahead of him, one that would introduce him to millions of television viewers around the world. The phenomenon of Walker, Texas Ranger. In 1993, Chuck Norris took on the role of Cordell Walker in the television series Walker, Texas Ranger. The show combined action, moral lessons, and traditional storytelling about good triumphing over wrongdoing. Week after week, audiences tuned in to watch Walker solve crimes and defend the innocent. The series ran for 8 seasons and more than 200 episodes, reaching viewers across many countries. For Chuck, the show represented the height of his popularity and influence. Families watched together, and the character of Walker became a symbol of integrity and courage. The success of the series also brought financial security and international recognition. The shy boy from Oklahoma had become a global figure, admired for his discipline both on screen and off. An unexpected internet legend. Years after the show ended, Chuck Norris experienced a surprising second wave of fame through the internet. Humorous Chuck Norris facts began circulating online, exaggerating his toughness in playful and imaginative ways. Lines such as, "Chuck Norris doesn't do push-ups, he pushes the earth down," spread rapidly across forums and social media. Rather than resisting the jokes, Chuck embraced them with good humor. The memes introduced him to younger generations who may never have seen his films or television work. What began as internet humor became a cultural phenomenon, turning Chuck Norris into a symbol of larger-than-life strength. Behind the jokes, however, he remained the same disciplined individual who had built his life through patience and perseverance, family, reflection, and changing priorities. As the years passed, Chuck Norris began focusing more deeply on family and personal reflection. Success had brought recognition and opportunity, but it also required long periods away from home during earlier decades of his career. With age came a clearer understanding of what mattered most. Time with loved ones, meaningful conversations, and shared memories became far more valuable than any award or box office milestone. Chuck has often spoken about the importance of presence, being there for the people who matter rather than simply providing for them from afar. These reflections reshaped his sense of legacy. Instead of measuring life by achievements alone, he began measuring it by relationships, growth, and the positive influence he could have on others. Giving back through mentorship. One of the most meaningful ways Chuck Norris has chosen to use his influence is through youth mentorship. In 1990, he founded the Kickstart Kids program, which introduces martial arts training to young people in schools across Texas. The program focuses not just on physical techniques, but on character development, discipline, and respect. For many students, it becomes a pathway to confidence and self-belief. Chuck often explains that martial arts gave him direction when he needed it most, and he hopes to offer the same opportunity to others. Through this work, he has helped thousands of students discover their potential. It represents a continuation of the lesson he first learned in Korea. Persistence and discipline can shape a life in remarkable ways. The true meaning of strength today, Chuck Norris is widely recognized as a cultural icon, but his life story reveals something deeper than the legend. Behind the films, championships, and internet jokes stands a man who spent decades learning about perseverance, humility, and growth. His journey shows that strength is not simply about physical ability or public recognition. Real strength often appears in quieter forms, in dedication to family, commitment to personal improvement, and the willingness to keep moving forward despite setbacks. Chuck Norris's life reminds us that success is rarely a straight path. It is shaped by effort, reflection, and the courage to keep going. Long after the memes fade and the movies grow older, that message of resilience may remain his most meaningful legacy.